I'm pleased to introduce Brett Gove, Business Development Manager for Princess Cruises. We're going to explore cruising with Princess, including health and safety protocols, new Princess promotions, and new and exciting itineraries. Let's go cruising with Princess Cruises.
Hi, welcome to the Princess presentation. My name is Brett Gove. I'm a Business Development Manager for Princess Cruises in Cunard Line, and I cover Southern Idaho, Utah, Colorado, and Nevada. And excited to share some fun things with you today. As we go through this COVID-19 and some of the things that have been going on, now more than ever is it so important that we can get with a reputable travel advisor. And Columbus Travel, we've been working with them for years and years, and they have some fantastic advisors that have been all over the world and have traveled on Princess several times, and so they know us inside and out. And to have that support is invaluable, especially nowadays with what's going on. There was a study done a few years ago or a year or so ago on people and their happiness with their vacation. And what was interesting within the study is they asked people about their trips and what they enjoyed about them. And most people say that the anticipation of the holiday or their trip or their vacation is the biggest part, or one of the biggest parts of their vacation. And I'm sure that a lot of you can attest to this as you think about and get excited about your upcoming trips and trip, that it is a big part as the anticipation part of it. One of the things that with the COVID-19 going on right now is we've been asked what are our health and safety standards on board. And we as an industry just submitted a big plan to the CDC a couple weeks ago. And within that plan, there are a lot of different things that we're talking about doing. And one of them is that we'll be doing health screenings. We'll be doing screenings for crew, also for passengers, requiring them to have a COVID test, before they get on board. And then also throughout the cruise, the crew will be tested every so often as well. Sanitation and what we're going to be doing with our sanitation process. We've been held to higher standards than any other industry. There's only two other industries, or one other industry that has to report to the CDC. It's cruise lines and hospitals. And so we've already had a very high standard as far as our sanitization and what we do with the cleanliness and so forth on board, but it just made it more so with the COVID-19. And so we are, going to step up our sanitizations within the cabins, around the ships, having more sanitation or hand sanitizer and so forth accessible around the ship as well. Also for the social distancing, will be guidelines there as far as when we're going to the dining room. We're not exactly sure how that's going to look right now, but probably similar to what you're experiencing now in the restaurants. When you go to the restaurant, you have every other table available to sit. As of now, we are suggesting that both the crew and the passengers wear masks while on board in certain areas of the ship to help the spread of the COVID. So we're very excited. We've had lots of success with other cruise lines that are cruising over in Europe. They're doing this and they've had some great success and are doing very well. They've been up and running. A couple of them have been up running for the last month and a half and doing great. So I want to talk real quickly about Princess's medallion class. And what is the medallion class? What does that mean? So we have a new technology that we introduced a couple years ago and have rolled it out onto the ships. And so what the medallion is, it's actually about the size of a quarter. And this is going to replace your key card. And what's great about this, it's going to help out with everything we're going through right now with the COVID, and be able to help out with that situation on board. So what's great about this, there's a lot of great things, but just a few things that I can mention here is, one thing is that you can be up on your deck chair or in certain parts of the ship, and you can actually order from your smartphone or your tablet, or you can actually order from one of the staff members a drink, food, and what have you, and guess what? They'll deliver it right to you. they'll know right exactly where you are. So you order from somebody else, and somebody else will deliver it to you. So they're able to access where you're about on board. Also, boarding. You're going to be able to board faster and also disembark faster. And I've experienced this, and it goes really, really quick. It's amazing. You don't have to have any paperwork with you. You just bring your medallion, and it scans in, and all your information pulls up, and they say, go ahead and get on board. One of the fun things that I found as we travel with our family is find your way and shipmates. And what that allows you to do is, if you guys have ever cruised before and you cruise with your spouse or family, we were always leaving notes in the cabin saying, hey, meet us up here if we get lost, we're up by the pool or what have you. Well, with this, you'll be able to hop on your tablet or your smartphone, or we have portals around the ship that you can tap, and you can actually find your shipmates. So whoever you're traveling with, as long as you invited them into your group, you're able to find out where they're at, and it works great. I've done it a couple times when we were on board with my wife, trying to find out where she was, and sure enough, as I looked on my phone, it said she was up by the pool, and I walked right up there, and bam, she was there. The other fun thing is keyless entry into your room. So you can have this, as long as you have the medallion on your personage, you can actually access your cabin by walking up to it, and it'll unlock, and you can just walk right in. It's fantastic. And along with this, we also have the best Wi-Fi at sea. So we've had to upgrade our Wi-Fi. And I'll tell you, again, from firsthand experience, by being on board, it's like sitting in your living room surfing the internet. It's that fast. You can download and you can stream Netflix or Amazon Prime or what have you. It's just amazingly fast. So we're very excited about this. This is only kind of the tip of the iceberg with our technology there, but there is so much more to come, and we're very, very excited about this. And this is our VP of Sales, John Terneski, just kind of introducing or experienced the medallion ways on board, and again, facilitating that physical distancing when we're on board as well. So we consider ourselves the destination leader, and not because we go to 350 different ports of call or have 150 different itineraries that we sell on. That's part of it. But the other part is we want to bring that destination to you when you're on board, and also when you get off, that you're able to experience some of the local type of things with our excursions. And what we partnered with Discovery Network, and have some Discovery Channel and Animal Planet types of excursions that have gone over very well. We also bring local entertainment on board when we're in different areas. For instance, when we were in Hawaii, we brought on some hula dancers and had different lectures and so forth when we were going across. It was just fascinating. So we really want you to experience the destination. And one of the other fun things too is in the dining room each night, we will have a different type of dish from wherever you're visiting in the world. So let's say you're in Europe, in Italy, doing the Med, you're going to have a dish from each of those different destinations each night to option and to sample. So what do our repeat guests say? This is kind of interesting, just real quickly. So if you guys aren't familiar with our Captain Circle program, we have a wonderful Captain Circle. It's a loyalty program. And back in 2004, we had a little over 11,000 that were elite. That's our top level. You have to have 16 cruises or 151 cruise days. In 2011, we had 51,000. Then in 2019, we jumped up to 138, a little over 138,000. And by next year, we're projecting we'll have over 160,000 elite passengers. And that program is fantastic. So I would encourage you, if you're not familiar with it, to get with your travel agent or travel advisor, and they will be able to kind of guide you through that and what the benefits are of that program. So what's new? We have our summer 21 summer programs on sale with Alaska, Europe, Canada, New England, and Japan. And everything is selling very, very well. We're very excited about it. People are just, and you can probably attest to this as well, just that pent-up demand. People are wanting to get out and experience since being locked up for so long, and getting out and doing some some fun things and seen some great destinations. We've also got our 21-22 programs on sale, which include Tahiti. We're back to Tahiti, which is fantastic. So we're doing a 10-day there. So you fly into Papeete and cruise around Tahiti. Our South America, Hawaii, California coastals. And we've also got our Mexico, Panama Canal, and Caribbean. Now, something's very exciting we're going to be announcing, or just announcing, is our California coastals of Mexico. We have not been doing those during the summer. We've always been up to Alaska. Well, we're actually going to be offering that next year, and very excited about that opportunity to be able to go and spend some time in doing the California coastals or the Mexico. And I have some great memories on both of those cruises. We've had some great times there. So I just want to spend a little bit of time on Alaska. And, you know, Princess, that's our bread and butter. That's what we're known for. We've actually been voted #1 up to Alaska 16 times in a row by Travel Weekly, and then also by our travel advisors. They have recommended us vote us 19 straight years as #1 up there. So what really sets us apart is how we combine things. We do a land and sea vacations with our own lodges, and then we also just do some round trips from Seattle, San Francisco, and LA. So, like I said before, we've been voted #1 16 years in a row. Been over 50 years up to Alaska. So Glacier Bay and Denali National Parks, that's what people love to go see. That's one of their bucket lists for most people. And we have offer that on every Alaska land and sea vacation. So no one else does that. We are the only ones that actually offer that on every one of those. We also have our exclusive rail service, which I'll talk about in a second. And then our princess-owned lodges are a highlight as well. So when is the best time to go? Well, that's a great question. And it just depends on what you want to see and do. So this chart kind of gives you an idea with the red stars on if you want to see whales. The best time for whales is going to be July, but you can see on the chart that June or May through September, you'll be able to see whales. But the best time for when they're feeding and doing the bubble feeding and all that stuff is usually end of June into July. Now, if you wanted to see, have the midnight sun, if you will, that's Northern Lights. You've got June and July for the midnight sun, and then Northern Lights going to be in September. You've got bears. So bear sightings, usually the best time is May and June. Now you do have a great opportunity in August that's when the salmon run's going. And so the bears are feeding as well on the rivers during the salmon run. For fishing, if you have any fishermen out there, we've got June and July are two of the hot months for fishing. And then in September, obviously that's going to be, fall foliage, and I've had some great reports on that with the fall foliage. So your best, if you want to save some money, we do shoulder season, which is considered middle of May, 1st of June, or end of August into September is going to be a shoulder season. It's going to be a little bit more reasonable on the pricing. And then you can see June through August, that's when, obviously the families are up. That's when the kids are out of school. So Voyage of Glaciers versus the Inside Passage. So if you can see this map here and take a look at it, you've got our Voyage of the Glaciers is going to be the one that starts from Vancouver. See that dot, that black dot in Vancouver, and it goes on the inside of Victoria and all the way up into Ketchikan. So but you see how it's on the Inside Passage the entire time. So we'll do Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, and then we'll head up into Whittier. Now, if we did a round trip Seattle or a round trip San Francisco or LA, you'll see that we're not on the Inside Passage the entire time. To me, that is one of the highlights of doing Alaska, is being on the Inside Passage. So I would always recommend doing the north or southbound sailing, the Voyage of the Glacier sailing, even if you're not going to do the land portion of it, which I'll talk about in a bit. I would still recommend that you do that part of it because you see so much more on the Inside Passage. It's just incredible. So we have our 7 days round trip from Seattle or Vancouver, and they are departing on Saturdays and Sundays. Glacier Bay includes Glacier Bay National Park or Tracy Arm. Now, if you're not, if you've never done Alaska, I should say, Glacier Bay I would pick over Tracy Arm. Tracy Arm is fantastic, but Glacier Bay is just spectacular. And then we do the frontier ports like Juneau, Ketchikan, Skagway, and the Icy Strait. So we do have some 10-day round trips from San Francisco and a 12-day from Los Angeles. Doing the same itinerary. Again, you have the choice of Glacier Bay or Tracy Arm. They just alternate. And then the Voyage of Glaciers, and that's the one I talked about that goes from either Vancouver up into Whittier or Whittier down to Vancouver. Okay. And ports of call, again, Juneau, Skagway, Ketchikan. Kind of rushing through these. So lots of different options for excursions. This is our most popular excursion we do anywhere in the world. Is called our Deadliest Catch one. It's a Discovery Network one, and people love it. If you're familiar with the Deadliest Catch, this is a fantastic one to go out and experience. And then, of course, in Skagway we have the White Trail Train Pass, and that one is again one of our most popular ones as well. And then we have at Ketchikan, that's the salmon capital of the world, and during the August we have the salmon run coming up there, which is amazing. We've actually introduced this North to Alaska program, and this is a fantastic program. We have lots of different things we offer. One of the things we do is we bring the puppies in the piazza, we call it. So we bring the sled dogs in and have the opportunity to actually hold them and pet them and all that, and it's just been a really big hit. And then we've also introduced, it's called Cook My Catch. For years, I'd have people always ask, if I go on one of your fishing excursion, I catch a fish, can I have it brought back to the ship and have them cook it up? And we've said no for years and years until 2 years ago when we introduced this program. So now you're actually, if you catch one, we'll bring it back and we'll cook it up for you and serve it at dinner for you. Isn't that great? So one of the highlights as we go up into Alaska is Glacier Bay. And I show this next slide because this was me. I was in an inside cabin and I was tiptoeing over 2 or 3 people deep trying to see the glacier. And I took this picture for a reason, so I could show you what it's like if you don't have a balcony cabin. So there's only 2 places I say to buy a balcony cabin. One is Alaska, the other one's Panama Canal. Those are the 2 I think are musts for a balcony. Not only when you go up into Glacier Bay for Alaska, but also when you're in the Inside Passage. There's so much to see, and if you don't have the balcony, it just makes it harder for you to get out of your cabin and go up, and especially in the early mornings when the sun basically is never setting, to be able to see the sights and sounds when you're going up through the Inside Passage and seeing the glacier that chunks of ice as big as buildings falling off of this glacier. So this is the Voyage Glaciers, kind of it is the route that you take, and then also as you go up you get into Whittier, which is the old naval port that we're the only ones that use. From there, we train you up into Denali and go up into that area in Fairbanks. So it's a great opportunity for you to see some great sights there. This is a shot of the train that leaves at Whittier. Again, we're the only ones that do this, that train you from either Whittier to Denali or Denali down to Whittier. This is a picture I took when I was on board a few years back, and just to show you how close we are to the ship. You literally walk off the train, across the street onto the ship, or vice versa, depending on which direction you're going. And we've got the big dome cars, and we've just renovated them. We've got the viewing platform, which is great to be able to get out there and just get some fresh air and view. And you can get up and walk around, which is great. We do actually serve meals in the bottom one of the cars there, which makes it great. So here's a picture of the renovated cars. So the seats are all facing forward, which is great. So we do have a few options for you to choose from as far as packages. So we have the Denali Explorer, Off the Beaten Path, Connoisseurs Deluxe, and On Your Own. And just real quickly, the Denali Explorer, that's a 3 to 6 nights on land, 4 nights in Denali, and so that gives you 2 nights in Denali Lodge, and then also 2 nights in McKinley Lodge. And it also includes the rail service, and you can either do Fairbanks or Anchorage on that one. Off the Beaten Path, this is going to be more we have 2 lodges, Copper River and Kenai Lodge, that are really in the middle of nowhere. And if people love them because they have some great hiking and trails around there, some great excursions as well. And then with the Kenai, people love to fish the Kenai River, so it's right there to be able to enjoy that also. And then our Connoisseurs Deluxe, this includes, it's a 5 to 8 nights on land, and then your 7 nights total, or 7 nights, on the cruise. And this is our most popular one because it includes most of your meals while you're on land. The other ones do not include the meals. You have to pay for those when you're there. So a lot of people just like to have this all-inclusive. Plus you get a tour guide or an escort with you the entire time as well. And then on your own, this is kind of just piecing things together. We basically provide the lodging for you. Everything else you have to piece together, and it does not include the train ride. So if you really want to do the train, this is not one you'd want to do. It is the most affordable because we've really stripped everything out of it. To be honest with you, if you were to add everything back in, you'd be, if you're going to do the things that we already added in on this one, you'd be paying out the same amount of money anyway. Okay. So I'm going to go through this. Sorry, I thought I had this. I don't have a lot of time here. These are our lodges. I'm just kind of buzzing through them real quick. So Copper River, Kenai. And this is great. So this one here is our military benefit. So if any of you are active or retired military or disabled veterans, you are eligible for up to $250 onboard credit. And that is good anytime so once you register with us, anytime you sell, that benefit is there for you, always there for you. And we have this, we call it our Princess Plus, and this is such a great deal, I thought I'd bring it up. So this is available all year round, so it's a great value. So it's a value of $95 a day per person. So it tells you what you get. So you get our premier beverage package, you get our unlimited Wi-Fi, and gratuities included that. And all that up would be $95 a day per person. So we give that to you at only a $40. We'd reduce that so it's only $40 a day per person with all those things included in it. Well, I want to thank you for spending your time with me today, and hope you have a fantastic day and hope to see you on board.